Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining our Medicine Master Buddha Repentance today. It's going to be a full-day event, all-day event. I'm glad you're all here. In particular, I'm really very impressed that so many of you showed up today, and especially in K-Land. They must not have to go to work over there. Must be K-Land, must be some sort of Pure Land. In Pure Land, you don't have to get a job. You don't have to worry about your pension. Okay? Because the Buddha will take care of you your entire life until you become like him. All right. And so, anyway, there must be sleepy in K-Land. No? So many of you. All right, how's everyone today? Okay. Also today, I'm really enjoy the repentance so far. I'm so impressed with the quality of the ceremony. And one thing at all, I'd love to have the Wayno's big bell and handbell a little bit clearer, okay? It should be a little bit louder than the rest of the Dharma instruments so that we know what to do. It's a part of the leadership skills that Wayno's will eventually have to develop. Wayno basically is a leader in a role of leadership, telling the assembly what to do, how to chant, and so forth, and energize the assembly. And so traditionally the Wayno and Samadhi level has to be very high, okay? And that's what we're working on. As part of the training here we have at Lu Mountain Temple. It's a Lu Mountain Temple? Not anymore. It's Wei Mountain Temple. Because I look at Anna, I said, oh, it's a girl from Lu Mountain Temple. It's so, quite a few of you are from Lu Mountain Temple. Oh, we go way back, except for Catholic. Okay, and it is so nice to see your familiar faces and see the new faces as well. I want you to know we may outnumber the Koreans today, but they work harder than we do. Remember, it's 3 a.m. over there right now. They are so hard working, okay? And I feel sorry for the newly minted left home people. This year we have so many who left the home life, and then next year we expect even more as well. This is not the end of the year yet. We still expect a few more to shave their heads as well. Okay, and so I feel sorry for them because they walk into a system where the lay people kung fu is higher than theirs. And the lay people will continue to improve. That's our style, because we don't care whether you're a lay person, a left home person. We train you according to as much as you like to be trained, okay? Up to your full potential. And so I feel sorry for these newly minted people. So be kind and compassionate towards them, okay? They don't know what they're getting into. Unlike the rest of you. You know better than live the home life. Anyone has any questions? I keep on chuckling, remembering how the Teji Sunim telling people that the training program, the life at the Jogye order is much harder than here, okay? And for left home people. and nothing is further from the truth. It's so hard for left home people as well as lay people. Okay, and I just wonder, why do you think it's the case? I keep on saying that, but I'm sure quite a few of you disagree. You say, Master is so easygoing, right? XQ? Yeah, you like it here, don't you, XQ? Huh? You see, I like it here. No, it's very, very hard. On the surface, it looks so easygoing, but it's one of the hardest training programs. I tell you, just to give you an idea, I'm very number oriented. Okay, I feel that our program here is about a little bit harder than my YongHua's program, my Chinese teachers' programs. What kind of, how much harder? Looking at the results on how far you grown, because the harder it is, number one, the quicker you make progress. Number two, the higher you reach. So that's why I look at those numbers and I can compare basically his program versus our program. Yes, DTT, go ahead. Yeah, we can hear you.
Master, can you hear me? Yeah. Master, I have a question on kids' education. Can I ask it now?
What?
I have a question on kids' education. Can you hear me?
Education?
Yes.
Kids?
Yes.
I don't like kids. But anyway, I love some kids, but in general, I don't like them. That's my bias. You better know it right off the bat. Yes.
Yeah, but you're still the most wise person here. So it's just very confusing in the United States. There's so many different education philosophy and system when it comes to school selection.
Yes.
And I look at so many different schools, public, private, alternative, progressive. They all have different school philosophy in terms of what kind of kids they want educated them into and the approach they take.
Yes.
I just want to take some.
And we're facing also the elimination of the education department.
Right.
Oh, it's getting worse and worse for our kids. Yes, continue.
So, Master, would you share your wisdom with us when it comes to selecting school for kids? What are the most important criteria that we need to look out for so I don't get too confused and pick the wrong path for my kid?
Okay, good question. What happened to Mary Jo? She might be able to help us out. She's here today. No, you only deal with adults, no kids. You are smart. Okay, that's a real good question. It's one thing that's very high in my list is about what we can do for your children. That's so important, okay? Because we cultivate for what? For our children, to help others, okay? And in order to help others, the most important people I can think of right off the bat is my parents and my children, okay? So my nephews and nieces, if you're not married, okay? Or have no children. And so to me, that's so important, and yet there's so unclear criteria and ideas on what to do. So I don't know, honestly, with you, because again, I'm so preoccupied with adults. Adults, you guys cause so many problems, have so many issues that I really don't have much time to worry about kids. And I'm very pleased that, for example, here at WMT, at DTT, we're making provisions to have programs for kids. Okay, that's a very good thing. In general, the one idea here for children is the environment. First of all, children are like sponges. They absorb everything so easily. indiscriminately. So important for us to give them a nurturing and healthy and positive environment. Okay, and so the environment really matters. Yes, choosing a school is very important, and so we can talk about it, but I will tell you that's only part of the education of the children. Okay, let's talk about how to choose a school. Okay, anyone has any ideas? Ginny, you're a teacher. Some of you are teachers. You have your own ideas. You can help us make suggestions as to how we can choose schools for our children. Anyone? Okay. They spend quite a few hours away from us, and therefore we want an environment where it's safe for them, first of all. Okay, we're responsible for their safety. So it's important we send them to good schools, to safe areas. Yes, DTT, go ahead.
We cannot hear you, Chen.
Right now?
Go ahead.
Okay, did you get anything, or should I start over?
Start over.
Okay. So I'm also in the process of looking at schools for my kids, and we're in this area where there are many, many good schools, and I have been looking at a lot of them. And I'm also pretty confused because there's so many good choices, and they all talk a lot about many great ideas. Nowadays, there are a lot of emphasis on social emotional learning, mindfulness, like inspiring children's love for learning, like being kind. A lot of have opportunity to connect with nature, build like a warm community, a lot of good things. So it's kind of hard to see what are the better or best choices. But I just started thinking that one of the things that maybe matter most is actually the teachers, because a lot of good education philosophies are still up to exactly how it's implemented. And the teacher who are in contact with the children every day seems to be the actual most important factor, and how they can inspire the children, how they can really understand the children, see where their needs are, and then work with them at the individual level. And now I think those are maybe the most important things.
Okay, teachers are important, but you don't get to talk to the teachers every year, do you? Every year the teachers change. And how do you, do you move to schools or change classes or what?
Usually you can see the quality of the teachers at the school from visiting the class. But you cannot have control on everything because the teacher is also very hard to retain teacher these days. A lot of, even the schools is very good, the teachers still have high turnover because a high level of cost living here and many factors. So you don't have full control of that.
Okay. And so, there are lots of variables that you really have no control over. When you go and let's say you folks can afford private schools, you go and talk to the school. Usually you talk to a principal who does not teach. And the principals are trained to sell the schools, okay? And the teachers will change. And you really have no control over how to choose the teachers at all.
But actually, especially for small schools, the principals are really important, or the founders. They actually also are the ones that guarding the teacher selections. So the ability of hiring good people is also very
I
important.
would caution you, because principals are salesmen first. They have a lot of expenses, and so the money is very important. So they need to sell more than, so when you're under money pressures, like school principals, especially private schools, it's very, very expensive. So therefore, you need to compromise a lot. That's my problems. Okay, I feel for private sectors because they're under so much money pressure that they have to compromise their values. Okay, and they have to and then they also have to oversell the schools and themselves. So I really don't think much about principals, okay, because primarily to me, they're salesmen. They have to sell to everyone, okay? In particular to new parents and newcomers, they have to sell, and they oversell themselves. So in general, I want to guide the conversation because I want you, this is the premise of the discussion, is that you need to assume responsibility for the education of your children. Don't count on the principal, don't count on the teacher. The teachers will spend maybe a few hours with your children per day, but you are the one who spend more time with your children, okay, in the long run. And you'll be there. The teacher will change year by year, but you'll be there, okay? And so the main thing is you are responsible for their education, their well-being. So the one thing is that you keep on improving. That's a constant, okay? When they change teachers, you are the main teacher to me. That is, you will have the most influence, you have the biggest responsibility, okay? So the teachers to me basically are babysitters for your children for a while during the day, okay? And if I had children, and I have a similar problem with you. I have a few locations of temples. I can't be there all the time. Okay, I have the same problem. I have no control over who's at the temple right then, and the newcomers, who's influencing them. Okay, I have zero control over that. Okay, so but ultimately I'm responsible. So what do? I watch from afar. I watch people, I watch about how my new Sanghas or my Sanghas evolve. Are they evolving in the right direction or not? For me, it's simple, okay? The only way for them to improve is become a gooder person. There's no two ways about it. In our system, there's no way for you to become stronger and become more useful to us if you become a more evil person. That's impossible in our system. I'm not saying that all my Sanghas are perfect. They have a lot of work, okay, but they're evolving in the right direction, the proper direction, in the direction of goodness. Okay, so that's the analogy I give you. Whatever school you choose, you have to be careful not to overextend yourself. To me, the fancy programs, the fancy schools are not necessarily the best. I'm more concerned about the safety of the children. I'm more concerned about the safety of my Sanghas. Okay, that comes first. Okay, And then you are responsible for how they grow, which way they're going. Are they becoming better children? Are they becoming more patient? All the things that we train you in Chan actually applies to your children as well. Yes, go ahead, 6.
Thank you, Master. We have some comments here from Thuy.
Yes.
She says, similarly, Emitofuo, Master, similarly to what you said, my advice, and some of you may know that she is a teacher in the school district in Orange County. She says that my advice for parents would be to first look at safety of the school, which is the first and foremost. Not all families have good options, but you can start with that.
Make sure you watch out your kids against drugs. It's extremely dangerous in schools right now. Okay? Their drug dealers are it's easier for them to get the kids hooked right now when they're still young, when they're still more impressionable. And once they're hooked, it's very difficult to undo that.
And secondly, I would look at your child's personality and interests to see if there are schools in the area that can serve them. For example, our district has dual immersion and GATE magnets, and I chose GATE. Magnet
Yes.
schools for Malaya because the school focuses on creativity and art, which Malaya likes.
Excellent. I really appreciate that. Hang on, because let me add to that. The schools, another criteria that according to Thuy and I wholeheartedly agree, is that the kids have to enjoy going to school. Okay? And it's not just the interest, but also maybe Malaya is too young, but eventually they have to look at their friends as well. Okay? Who they hang out with and what they do when they hang out. Do they smoke? Do they work out? Or they go see movies? Whatever they do, you need to keep an eye on them. Okay? And so it has to be fun, folks. Okay? It's so important. We never have enough fun. Okay? But healthy fun is what you want your kids to have, and good friends. Okay? So you invite your kids over to the house. Okay, or sleepover or birthday parties, you go to attend their birthday parties, okay? You make sure you are totally involved in your kids' life. Continue.
And she also says, I know Malaya will benefit if she's around her friends who are interested in the same thing that she's into, and they will become part of that community.
Yeah. Absolutely.
May I also add, having raised 2 kids that we chose the public school system in our neighborhood, and I realized that was 20 years ago or more. Things have changed, of course, for maybe new parents now. But I think the big thing you have to do is you have to be involved in your kids' classroom. You have to volunteer. You have to know what's going on. The teacher has to see your face, and then if there are any issues that come up, you know about them right away.
Yes.
And then you can also supplement with what they want.
You're lucky it's a public school. In private school, you have to give a lot more money if you want to be involved.
Well,
because
you find a way.
they
right?
need more money.
Yeah.
More and more money. It's never enough in private schools. Okay? Yes, all those are excellent ideas. Anyone else? Yes, Daniel. You have to be involved. That's very important. You have to be involved in your kids' education at school. You better show up. You better talk to the teachers. You have to go to PTA. You have to, because you cannot simply focus on your children. You also have because their children are affected by the other children. What happens at the school. So you better get involved. Okay? You cannot delegate it out to anyone else. Yes, 5.
So I didn't went to the best schools ever. I actually went to the worst schools. However,
Look at what it did to you.
it actually made me stronger. And so I even faced a lot of a lot of things especially in elementary school. But those things that I faced made me stronger. Middle school made me a lot stronger because I had to defend for myself. High school, same story.
You know why you became stronger? When the others, the majority of the children would become weaker. Blessings. You have Buddhist blessings.
No, and I wanted to.
No? What do you mean no? This is Buddhist temple. Careful.
I just want to add too that when I was in high school, I was able to choose my own teachers for whatever reason. I always chose the hardest classes and the hardest teachers too.
It's a very good point here. Not everyone can afford to send their children to private school. Public school is just as good, okay, if you get involved, okay? And then, again, like Daniel's case here, yes, it's important to try to send them to a place that's safe, okay? But if even if it's not safe, their own blessings will protect them. It's not a whole lot we can do when we're not there. Okay, so it's the blessings that protected Daniel, and and eventually got him a Buddhist girlfriend.
But the thing I will add though, that what helped me more is my schooling from Catholic school, from the free, from catechism and things like that. My parents too, they were teaching me and instructing me the correct path. Because during high school, I was offered drugs multiple times, and I was like, nope, I can't do that. It's a sin. I don't want to go to hell. So no.
Yeah.
So I think those.
It's a good thing. I want you to know. I'm so glad he brought it up. He went to Catholic school. This is why he's here at the Buddhist temple.
Not even to Catholic school, catechism, basically. But Catholic school is so expensive. I think that, facing Buddhist children over here, I think that if they have a good foundation in Buddhism, I think they will be able to succeed wherever they go. But I still recommend sending them to good schools. But
Catholics.
if they can't, proper foundation in Buddhism is good.
Yeah. Again, it's very good. Again, folks, the bottom line, if your kids, the best protection for your kids is their own blessings. They even need protection against you. You're the problem, okay? You have a lot of problems. So, yes, 9 here.
Mô Phật và Thầy, có nhiều Phật tử muốn hỏi Thầy, ở Việt Nam á, có ông Thầy Minh Tệ đó ra đời đó là tu làm sao? Tu có nói về tu có tu không? Tại bây giờ hiện giờ ở Việt Nam cũng nổi tiếng lắm á.
Okay.
Emitofuo Master, there's a lot of Buddhist disciples would like to ask you this question. In Vietnam, there appear among his name is Minh Thoại, Chinese is Ming Hui. Does he actually cultivate? Because right now that in Vietnam he's very famous.
Okay, I don't comment on all the teachers. Okay, from a principal's perspective, all the Buddhist teachers are important. Okay, I feel that way. They're not necessarily, some of them are not teaching the right things, but I don't make a practice of criticizing people and recommending this teacher versus the other teacher. Okay, I'm too young. I'm very low in Dharma age compared to most of the senior monks in the Sanghas, whether it's in Vietnam, whether it's in Thailand, whether it's in Sri Lanka and so forth. I have only 25 years of Dharma age, really, less than 25 years. And so therefore, in our world, I'm really a punk, really a nobody. Okay, I'm lucky that I have so many adorable children that I can come to work on the weekends and every day and look at you and say, I have to work harder to take care of you. So you actually, when you show up, you actually motivate me to work harder. Okay, and that's all I know. Whereas whether someone else who's famous or infamous, I really don't care. Okay, they are there for a reason. The bottom line here, it pertains to education for children as well. If you have the right blessings, the teachers cannot do much against you. If you have a lot of blessings and you are a dangerous environment, you still come out okay, you still can survive. If you have a bad teacher, the teacher cannot really affect you that much. Actually, if you have blessing, you run to a bad environment or a bad teacher, actually makes you stronger. That's what happened to me. Okay, I thought I went to a good system, but I stayed in my master's environment after he's dead, okay, for 4 years, and I was totally unimpressed. I was shocked that he would have such a system left behind him, because I'm from American perspective. His is Chinese, okay? And maybe it works for the Asians, but for me, I don't like it, okay? And so that's why I would never be able to identify myself with that system. I got a lot out of it. I learned what they do, the traditions and so forth, but there are a lot of things I disagree in deep down my heart, okay? And so my point being that if you have the blessings, the environment either helps you, okay, if it's amenable to your growth. But on the other hand, if it's a bad environment, it makes you only stronger. So I would not worry about it so much, okay, about whether this teacher and so finally this guy here, I don't know him and I wish him well. If he's famous, I'm glad for him, okay. You don't know how difficult it is to be famous. I have more and more people coming our association, okay, our group, our small group, and my lieutenants are overwhelmed. Okay, the more people come, the heavier they need to shoulder the burden. So it's not easy to be famous, let me tell you. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of stress. So I wish him well. And if people are worried about it, I really can't help. Okay, it's in Vietnam, it's a Vietnam system. The Vietnamese Sangha would take care of it. I trust that eventually the Vietnamese Sangha would take care of it, or the Chinese Sangha would take care of it, the Korean Sangha would take care of it. Okay, in one general advice is that you look at the entire system. You don't worry about one teacher. I look at the entire system. And if you were to ask me, if you're in Asia, I would recommend that you go, if you are Hinayana persuasion, I would recommend you find a Thai teacher. The system is very healthy, very strong. They have a lot of crooked, a lot of evil monks, okay? Chasing after your money, scamming you and so forth. But overall, the entire system is very solid. They are led by, the association is led by sages. That's what I look at. Another country I would highly recommend is Korea. If you ask me, you're in Mahayana, I will go to Korea to study. Okay? The Koreans should not go to the US and go to everywhere. They just have to take care of themselves, because they should make themselves available for other people to go there and receive training, because their Buddhism is very, very sound. Okay? I wish that they would be more open-minded and take care of the non-Koreans the same ways that they take care of the Koreans. Okay? And so, but that system there is very, very sound. In Asia, you have two countries that are very, very strong Buddhism. Hinayana, Thailand. No two ways about it. By far, they're the best in my mind. Not Tibet, not China, whatever. I feel that for Hinayana, Thailand is the best. And for Mahayana, I feel right now that Korea is the best. This is why I keep on going to Korea, because they train their people so well that I can use the good roots, Mahayana roots that they created, and we can use it and nurture them to grow even better. Okay? Now, yes, DTT comment, and we go back to the education of children soon.
Yeah, Emitofuo Master, can you hear us?
Yes.
Yeah, I also want to comment on about the kids' education. I have two kids in kindergarten and the 8th grade. They're both in public school because it's a safe environment. And I have to say, over the last 3 years, what I found most helpful to help my kids is improving myself. Of course, we help them build blessings and everything, but we all know, right? As we grown up, the kids will fail. Things will happen. For example, my 14-year-old, what do I do when he all of a sudden want to quit a Mandarin school he learned for 5 years? What do I do when I found out he played iPad overnight without telling us, played the whole night, and the second day there's school going on? What do I do when he trained for so long and the first time when he go for a tournament, he refused and locked himself in the locker for 1 hour? What do I do when we're so busy and the teenager doesn't want to help and the kindergartner is jumping around and crying and we have loads of housework and work going on? I have to say my cultivation, my meditation helped me so much to know what will be the best way to help him, to guide him, at the same time support my family. And towards the end, it's really not about iPad time. It's not about ping pong training. It's not about the Mandarin classes. It is those difficulties and the challenges, it will happen in their life. But when I can improve, I can be there to guide them instead of becoming a major challenge and a failure and the turning point going downwards from that point. This could be an opportunity for me to teach him for vigor, for patience, for kind, for helping your families. So I just want to emphasize that part. I feel cultivation actually helped me so much about how to guide my kids, how to help my kids, and of course, how to help myself. So to answer Shirley's question, I would say cultivate yourself. That's probably the best thing I can do for my kids.
Very good. Yes, thank you. Thank you for your input. Education, that your children will have an edge over the rest of the children in the world, is that you are pursuing a spiritual path. You understand there's the importance of spirituality in life. What most people don't realize is the basis of happiness is spirituality. It's not money, it's not cars, it's not houses, it's not fame, it's not profit. It's about the spiritual foundation. If you don't have a good spiritual foundation, you can be a very successful person. Look at the very successful person we have right now. He's coming into the office. He's very unhappy. I look at him. He's always frowning. Look at our current president. You think he's happy? No. I look at him and say, this guy is so unhappy. I saw a clip of him in the White House visit from Mr. T, and because it's a tradition, is that I will give you a smooth transition. But the way he looked at Mr. T, he like looked down and said, "I hate you. I hate your guts. You're a lowlife." They're so unhappy. They're so judgmental. Okay? And so you see, this is what people of the world fail their children, because they do not take their spiritual lives seriously. Because that's why they're unhappy, and they give the unhappiness to their children. No matter what school they send their kids to, they come back to an unhappy parent. There's no escaping that. Okay? And so I want to stress to you, in terms of educating your children, your spiritual life is very important. Okay? And you can go, I'm against private schools. Because you go there, you spend a lot of money, and these people sell to you, and it's not a real world to me. You have a bunch of kids who from rich families who can afford it, so it's not real conditions of life. I'd rather send them to a good public school. If you have to fake the address, okay. Get to a good school, public school, because you're going to find real children from real families. Okay? Not this snobbish, I'm rich, my parents are important. Okay? It's a wrong environment for your children, to me. Okay? And in summer school, send them to fancy programs, go to China, go to Sri Lanka, whatever you want to do. But give them a real environment, okay, and get involved, because not only are you helping your children, you're also helping make the public schools or whatever charter school system there healthier for all the kids as well. I want you to be more generous, not only focus on your own children. If you want your child to have a good education, what about thinking about how to help his friends and the kids in his classes have a better education as well? I want you to think bigger, not think so small, because we are interconnected. Okay? What you do to your own child can be undone very quickly by his friends at school, by his teachers at school. Okay? Yeah. I don't like principals, by the way. You're principal, I don't like you. You're too much of a salesman. Yes, here, sir. 2. It's a very emotional topic here. And as we can go on and on and on, okay? We have to cut it short very soon. But it's just ideas, we can come back and discuss it some more. Go ahead, too.
Thank you, Master. I've been meaning to ask you about this for a long time, because, for example, with Sage, she's really against going to school. And she's like, no, I want to learn at home. And I know I have the chance, the opportunity to be at home and try to teach her. But I also know that being in the environment of a school could be really good for her.
Yeah, she needs to learn to get along with all the children.
Yeah.
Okay. So you need to go. I prefer to go to a good school system, and homeschooling would be my last resort. Okay, suppose I cannot get into a good and safe school for my children, I would consider homeschooling. But I'd rather have my children go to and interact with all the children. Okay, and if I'm worried about it again, blessings. Make sure they have more and more blessings so that they get, their needs will grow and the blessing will grow with them and will protect them. That's the main thing. Okay? Yes, DT.
Master, the school Anthony currently goes to hits a lot of criteria that everybody's talking about. The teacher there is loving, intelligent, and stay with the kid for multiple years. Kids love going to school. They all enjoying going to school. It's safe, it's loving, it's very small. but it also doesn't hit a lot of criteria that you talk about, such as I don't think there's a particular reality or hardness that happening with that school since it's so small and so loving. It cultivates a lot of spiritual emotion. They give kids a lot of time to play in nature, But also I'm worried it's too off the beaten that kids doesn't really see the reality, doesn't know how to compete, and will have a real hard time coming back to reality as they get older.
Yeah.
So do you think it's a bad choice, like for Anthony, or maybe it will be good for up to a certain age?
Good for what?
Maybe it's a good option up to a certain age, or maybe it's a bad idea to start with.
What is good?
That fits him and cultivate him, make him strong and a gooder person.
No, you have to find things that they like to do, okay? And you can only insert a little bit of reciting Wan Yin's name every now and then. That's all you get, okay? You have to, they like to have fun. That's where they at, okay? And naturally, if they have the blessings, they will choose right. They will naturally be guided, okay, in the right directions. That's beyond us, I assure you. Okay? But the point here is that you have to assume responsibility for the education of your children. So the teacher or the school is only one tool for you available. Okay? I don't worry about a bad teacher, because if they struggle, like I struggle so much within my master system, okay, I learned so much from it. It strengthens my resolve. I said, I'm not going to be like you. I refuse to be like you. Okay? It's not right. Okay? And so you can, when I look at you, I look at your wanting to abdicate your responsibility for 5 hours during the day when you send your kids to school. No, you still are responsible. The teacher is only one tool, very much like when I accept new disciples in, and I send them to Korea, I send them to DTT. It's my responsibility ultimately. Okay, I need to watch over them, what's going on with them. So good things, bad things happen to them, it's natural. That's part of their formation. You cannot be overprotective. If good things happen, good. There's a danger there. Don't let them become too attached to having it easy or having fun only. That's a problem. If bad things happen, okay, then you help them cope with it. If they don't struggle, they will progress a lot slower. In our environment, for example, they struggle a lot without realizing it, okay? But that's why our people progress so much. I'm telling you, our environment is so much harder than the other places, okay? Because it's about 10 times harder in Master Shinwas. Believe it or not. People don't even realize it. It's 10 times. You buy stocks, you get 10 times return on your stocks. Yes, 6.
Thank you, Master. We have comments here from Shannon. And she says, I grew up training to be a ballet dancer. Being in the ballet studio environment saved me growing up in an unstable environment. The discipline of dance gave me a clear direction. And she suggests parents send your kids to dance classes.
There you go. I grew up in a crazy family. You know that? I was so crazy. My family is still very, very crazy. That's why. Enough. Yes, 8. I'm glad I'm out. I ain't coming back.
Well,
Yes.
I didn't have any the privileges of choosing schools in my area for my girls, and it was either Catholic or Christians, but we didn't want to pay for indoctrination. So what we did, we just had to go for the public schools.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to tell you, the mothers out there, we become very competitive, and we put this anxiety on our kids. And I learned a little too late after I came to the temple to meditate. I realized that I was putting so much importance on putting the pressure on our kids to be better. Mm-hmm. However, you have to make note that at the end of the day, your kids are gonna come to you, and the communication has to be open of how the day went.
Yes.
And you have to take the responsibility of providing to society good beings.
Yes.
And the principles come from the foundation that you have in your family.
Yes.
And that's what you're gonna have to give to them.
Okay. Very good.
And I come from a very strong bounded family, so I didn't struggle too much, and I was raised Catholic, so the principles were there. But one of the things that I realized is that the world has too much to give to your kids, and you can go after that with the programs that the city provides for them, extracurriculum activities, the museums, everything is a complement for the education of our kids.
Mm-hmm. Let me, I need to go. We need to stop here today. Let me end by making this suggestion to you. Okay, I look at my own journey through life. Sounds so bad. To me, I appreciate. After all these years of struggle, I grew up in Vietnam, where during the war and so forth, and I knew, I finally realized what drove me, what pulled me through all these challenges in life, and what motivated me to do what I'm doing now. It's two words: kindness, compassion. You need to teach your kids about kindness. They need to learn to be kind to others who are weaker than they are, who are less fortunate than they are. Okay, it's very hard for you to find that in a private school because they're also wealthy and have their nose up in the air. Okay, and number two, compassion, because this is what keeps them humble, keeps them less full of themselves. Okay, if you give them only in an environment where they get whatever they want, everything is so easy and provided for them, then they don't appreciate kindness and compassion. I struggled so much in my entire life, and after all that, I look at all of you, and this is why I see you developing kindness and compassion. That's what remains with them. Okay? Think about it. We can talk some more in the future. Thank you for the questions and your discussions. Okay? Let's do the lunch offering. Okay. Thank you.